Adventures in chat.
Well, I can't wait to do that, Sherry. That'll be in the next break?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll bring that back after break, because we only got about 2 minutes to go, so we just talked too much.
Yeah, it's okay. At least we talk about what people need to hear, not some pre-programmed sermon just to please people and take their donation check every Sunday, because that's all church has become. We'll
try to get your internet chat in the first half hour now. If we can try to figure out, a precise way of how we want to do things. Now, we've got 2 hours. We've got a lot more time. We can sit back and breathe a little bit.
Yeah, we can relax. You don't have to compress everything you say into 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult, and hopefully more people. If you've been trying to call, you will get a chance to call now.
Yeah, we're going to do call-ins after the break, folks. The call-in number is 260-356-2611. The number is also on my website at SherryTalkRadio.com. I could go through another email right here before break. We got a little bit of time. And I got an email from a person in Canada. And I thought I was reading an email from Oregon.
Wow.
Because basically, everything going on over in Oregon is like following from the dregs of hell from Canada over to our northwest. Because what they're experiencing is the same things people have been screaming about in Oregon, is that the local government is just so corrupted that there's no way you can get these judges out of office, and the police forces support them, and they're raping and abusing people, and then letting the rapists go free, taking children out of the hands of good parents and handing them over to the parent that's abusing them. I mean, we're seeing nothing but satanic ritual abuse going on at the highest levels, and a lot of the policies now and the people in support places are supporting those committing these atrocities, and they're protecting them.
Sherry, I got an email this week from someone in Nebraska talking about the very exact same thing you just said.
Yeah,
I think we're on break.
Yes, eventually it's going to be all over this country. We're going to be right back after this break, folks. About 1 to 2 minutes, we'll be right back.
From Nazareth he came. This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
Do you know where the 78 potentially active volcanoes in the U.S. are located? And do you know the locations of the top 300 prime terrorist targets? You can find these answers and more in the new interactive CD book, Prudent Places USA. With the more than 50 interactive parameters, you can pinpoint natural and man-made disaster areas, brewing environmental catastrophes, the safest cities, the best places for solar and wind energy, and much, much more. Complete with 3 gigabytes of detailed information on each of 3,000 plus counties in the U.S., including 550 high-resolution full-color maps and full-color photographs, as well as detailed information and analysis to help you zero in on the best places to live, the ideal location for cabins and vacation homes, as well as safe and unsafe areas. Get Prudent Places USA for only $29 plus shipping by calling New Millennium at 888-803-4438. That's 888-803-4438 to order on the web or at murkywater.com.
And now back to live with Sherry Schreiner, and you have a caller, Sherry.
Okay, well, we're going to hold on to that caller for a few minutes. I'd like to go ahead and get into Adventures of Internet Chat with Pastor Harry.
Well, Sherry, that circus music is quite fitting. Why don't we take this caller real quick, and then we can talk about what I was my adventures in Christian chat.
All right.
You're up, John.
Well, thank you.
Well, Happy New Year, John.
Well, Happy New Year to you and to Pastor Harry.
Hi, John. Happy New Year.
I think it is going to be quite a remarkable year.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way.
John, I'm really glad you called. You called 2 weeks ago and you told us that in the Greek language 2005 meant something.
Yes, the Day of Judgment.
And what is that word in Greek?
The judgment, Christos. Hagimerates Christos.
How would the Greeks know that 2005 is the year of judgment?
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
pretty remarkable.
Prophetic.
What do you think of that, Sherry? It really is something.
Everything is just so prophetic. Everything just kind of works the way it's supposed to. Definitely looking like a year of judgment. And anytime Planet X starts coming towards the Earth, it is the Lord's judgment, because he can accelerate this thing towards the Earth, and he can keep it back. And when he starts accelerating it and we start seeing judgments there, it's of him.
That's true, and maybe the Greeks had some inner knowledge of something coming towards Earth in the year 2005, because that is amazing. That truly is. Day of judgment, year of judgment, right, John?
Very much so. There's an interesting part of a Jewish legend that is kind of interesting in regard to judgment as well, and that is one of the questions, especially with the bombings of World War II in Europe. People would often ask, well, why was this city or why was this building destroyed? There was nothing military there, and as far as we know, it wasn't really much of a political. One of the Jewish answers to that is when sin, especially certain kinds of sin, are committed in an area, and that can be a land or a building, that literally cries out to be destroyed, one way or another, whether it's by man or by the agency of man or through nature. Those specific sins are witchcraft and permutations of nature that are unnatural or unwholesome, such as nuclear physics or genetic experimentation. And because those sins have become so, how can I say, irreversible, they've gotten out of the lab. They're so terrible in our country now in regard to genetic engineering, both of foodstuffs and now of animals,
yes,
and of mixing animals and humans.
And the most dominant cities in America today that fit the bill on everything you just said,
yeah,
is both Los Angeles and Chicago.
And if those types of things, if they are not, they have the potential to destroy all life on Earth.
Well, that's very true, John. I've always believed that human cloning is the final sign, and I do not believe that God will allow man to clone humans as a mass technology. Well,
they're doing it. They do it in the Black Ops all the time, and they have these soulless beings that are going to be part of Antichrist's forces when he comes to Earth. But what we're seeing now in a much more pervasive manner is the mind control programming, where the Illuminati and the governments and the Black Ops of this world are literally just taking people and brainwashing them and using them for their own purposes. And we're seeing this technology coming out of USC in California, which is under warnings of judgment right now.
Well, this whole nation is under warning of a judgment.
Yeah, well, big time on LA right now, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
And because this is where a lot of the intelligence agencies work out of universities, a lot of these, medical facilities in our major universities, and that's where the CIA and a lot of these Black Ops run out of. And so there's many experiments going on, and people have been hurt from these facilities for years, the last 40, 50 years. And so they're coming under notice now by the Lord, and he's putting some of them under judgment.
I had an unusual experience over the last week, too. And normally I'm not much on dreams or signs. Like everyone, I have them occasionally that seem prophetic. But something unusual happened, and I think it has to do with the date. The last of the three events, and they all had to do with the same number, was the clock. The regular analog clock fell off the wall.
That's not a good sign.
Nothing was happening, and it was at 8:10. The same thing had happened twice with two other devices, and they were all at either 8:10 or 8:12, right in there. And so I thought something, did you have anything in your code research regarding the second week in August?